And we are back for our third episode.
Hello, we have gotten enough money back from begging on the streets.
Hell yeah. That's what we do. That's what we do part-time.
We might, honestly, if we want equipment like that, we might have to.
We do not condone fake begging.
Yeah, that's,
It's kind of...
You gotta do what you gotta do, though.
Kind of sucks, yeah. Okay. We got
a good friend today. Special guest, good friend. Mr. You want to introduce yourself, or do you want us to introduce you?
It's fine.
He's a little shy.
Oh, stop. Thank you. Hi guys. My name is Ashwin.
Thank you for coming on.
No problem.
Thank you for coming on.
Thanks for coming on, dude. Ashwin, I've known since elementary school days. It's been so long. Kind of started to mix up my friends groups, and now Daniel and Ashwin know each other. So 2 different friend groups coming together.
We just, 2 different friend groups combined to just bully him, so.
Yeah. It's pretty cool to see. Okay. So what's our topic for today?
So today, what's it called? We were talking about this earlier, just trying to figure it out, but how relationships impact, not relationships, religion impacts relationships.
Yeah.
I think it's a really, for a lot of relationships, it can be really key, especially when it's being serious, but if it's short term, it's not that big of a deal. But I think all 3 of us kind of have some good input on that too, which is why it's a perfect topic for us today. Do you want to touch up on yours first, or do you want to
I just want to give a little bit of a premise. We're all first-gen immigrants. I think I mentioned this in our last podcast too.
Wait, before we continue, what's first gen? What qualifies as first gen?
First gen, second gen, whatever.
I'm dead serious though. I'm actually wondering.
I think technically what I consider first gen is we're not the ones that immigrated here, right? We weren't.
So basically,
we
someone
weren't
that's been born here.
Not really been born. I wasn't born here. Remember that. So, but I still consider myself first gen Canadian because
you're raised on the values here.
I was raised on the values here, and the person that brought me here is over 18, and I was not over 18 when I came here, right? So.
You don't sound like you're over 18 when you came here.
Exactly. So when I was, I was born in India, but I pretty much have almost 0 Indian values because, I was raised here. I came here when I was 2.5, right? So
yeah,
I have no idea what's going on. So
fair.
Yeah, that's how it is.
But yeah, so I think another thing we have to say is, adding on to that, all of our opinions are completely subjective based on our experiences. It's not the general opinion, not the consensus. It's just how we feel and how we experience these things. So
exactly, yeah. So just for perspectives, I'm South Indian, and I was raised Muslim. How about you?
I am Filipino, born and raised Catholic. Been raised on those values all my life. I say probably my perspective on it has changed as I've grown, but that's what I know, right?
Okay. How are you?
South Indian too, but born and raised as a Hindu, and a lot of perspectives on different religions changed me a lot.
It's really interesting to see when you experience it. It's you can see different how different people act, or different people take on different things just because
you learn a lot of different religions at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Right? When you mix up friend groups and all that stuff, going to high school. I say school plays a big difference, I would say, because at the end of the day, if you went back home, if you go back to for example, if you go to the Philippines or you go to South India, especially I'm not too sure about how the Philippines work.
Yeah.
But in South India, it's always a big cultural religion type of thing based on that. For example, if we go back home and me and Nihaal were best friends, a lot of people will be smack talking us a lot of times, and
it's kind of why, right?
I think that's gotten better over the years. It's not if this was in the 70s or 80s, it would have been much worse. It's gotten better over the years, but for friendships, it's gotten better because more liberal. Even guys and girls talking back then, classrooms are divided, all that stuff. I'm sure there's still some divided classrooms there. I can't really speak up on it because I don't know too much, but that's gotten so much better. But now we're in our 20s, men's are getting lonely out here, so we're looking for relationships, right? And but relationships, I are tough to find in Canada because
Yo, everybody's taken, bro. Everybody.
It's hard, bro. It's hard to find a little.
Oh my god.
okay, well this turned into a Sad Boys podcast real quick. No,
It's hard.
No,
It's hard to find a
what I'm
little.
trying to say is like, even if I was in South India and then surrounded by a lot of like Muslim girls or whatever, it's still hard then, right? So now I'm put in a place where like probably like 1% of the population, not even 1% of the population is South Indian Muslim, and my parents expect me to go through
Find a
those
needle in a haystack,
cultures and-
right?
Yeah, exactly, right? And what they don't see is the mental pressure behind it too, right? Because especially like North American culture, what is it? It's you find a girl, you date her, take her to a couple dates, eventually if you like each other, you propose to her kind of thing. Yeah,
Relationship.
right? That's how it is. You date first and then think, and it could be anybody on the street. That's what you see in movies. What, like people bump into a coffee shop and stuff? Do they bump into a coffee shop and be like, yo, are you South Indian? Are you Muslim? No, they don't.
No, you
they
just
don't
ask
do
for
that.
their number and hope for the best, right?
Exactly, yeah. That's what it is, right? But now, especially in Canada, like huge multiculturalism everywhere. Back then, like, in the movies and stuff, 70s, 80s and stuff, I guess like everyone was like, Caucasian and Christian and like it was just easier to do. But now it's like everything's mixed up, and if we are going down that road, if you want to keep those traditions, and then that means that we have to break down a bunch of the traditions back home.
Right.
So that's what I'm saying right now.
But I also feel like we've done it, like, overall, people have done a very good done very well with trying to integrate two different kind of conflicting or, like, two different religions and relationships.
Yeah.
So I feel like, well, it wouldn't have, there's no shot it was probably happening back in the day, right? So, and even back in the day, with the people within their own religions were super judgmental of people within their own. So.
That's a whole
nother. That's a whole nother can of worms.
That's a whole other can of worms.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, do you want, like, for you, how's that been kind of like navigating that?
From what I see is that, like, at the beginning, when I really liked, a girl or whatever, sometimes there's puppy love growing up. Like,
Oh, for sure.
like,
Honeymoon phase.
dude,
Yeah.
no, like, not even honeymoon phase. Like, literally, you see a pretty girl in like grade 8, grade 9, whatever, and then you're like, oh, she's so pretty, this, that. But you're little kids, and it's just kind of like the attraction kind of thing, right? But when you get older, you kind of realize, hey, okay, dude, I'm like 24 thing. There's not enough room for any more heartbreaks anymore because, I want that. I'm still. I don't know about you guys, but like I date to marry, and I tried to date to marry, and
I feel like
but
50% of the population is now doing date to marry. It's not date to like just to have fun. Like people are getting mature now, like more mature.
I feel like
shouldn't they always have been mature? Like
you do have those people that always want to have that party life and all that stuff because they've lived that like life for a long time, but now there are some people that because of like the whole pandemic and all that
all this stuff that's going on is just like
the
it's making people like take things a bit more serious.
Yeah, like you hear sometimes on the news, like I'm not gonna lie, I heard some like cousins and all that stuff got married at the age of 21, and after the pandemic 21, 22, there's some people that we even knew that got married after high school.
Ooh, that's early.
So
no
like,
offense, but
like yo, there are some people get married, like now some people are getting matured, like start like trying to get married. And
no, I agree. You got to discover yourself and stuff, right?
Yeah.
But this is the process of discovering yourself too, right? Or it's like your family values, right? Because I think a lot of what religion and culture has to do with marriage and like your significant other is your family values. That's what it is. It's you want to keep those traditions or do you want to break them, right?
Yeah.
And you're a deciding factor. And that's where the pressure comes in for first-gen Canadians like us. Right?
It's hard because you're kind of stuck in a place where it's like you want to please like the people who are put those traditions in place for you,
Exactly.
for a good reason too. And you're also conflicting with what am I as a person? What do I want from this relationship? What does my significant other want from this? And what are her expectations?
Yeah.
So you're kind of in a place where you gotta please everybody, but also stay true to what you want. Because at the end of the day, in a relationship, I think you got to stay true to what you want, right?
Yeah.
What both of you want.
Like if you guys both like each other that much, or you love each other that much, like you have to be able to.
But it's tough. You see, you both like each other, love each other. Before we even start that, what would you guys do? Would you guys go straight in and just like start dating this girl and then worry about it later, or do you want to worry about it now and get hurt less later? Yes, there is a high risk and high reward too.
I feel like
you know?
Yeah, but I feel like there's like a middle ground to that where it's like you guys got to see what the value, like, just because you have different religions doesn't mean you're strongly devout to those values. There are things that you take away from it, things that you don't like apply to your life. So you got to see how that meshes well. Right?
To add on to that, like, but to be honest, like, it's on whatever you choose, right? It's like you want to take that own risk at the end of the day. Like, for example, if you chose, like, for example, if you're Catholic and you chose a Christian, or you chose a Hindu, or you chose a Muslim, there's more religions out there, out of anything. There's Buddhism, there's many, like, you can't even count on your, like, two hands. There's so many religions out there, and there's people that are atheists too.
Yeah.
Right? So there's so many religions out there. So it's on you if you want to take that risk on that, right?
Yeah.
Even though religion plays a big part in your family, or like your background, your family, or people that you talk to play that, you should be able to be like, okay, if I like this girl and love this girl that much, I should be able to fight for her.
Yeah.
And the same thing, it has to go for the other girl too, right? Other person too. You can't be like, okay, I'm going into this relationship and the guy's willing to go, or guy or girl is willing, one person's willing to go all, like, full extent, saying, yo, I'm down to marry you, even though if you're, like, whatever religion, but versus the other person's like, oh, I'm just going to date the person for a, like, thing, and if there's a problem, I'm going to back out. You can't do that unless you have, like, a kind of a...
But again, with all relationships into that, like, I think it's one of those where it's not necessarily just jump into it and see where it goes, but it's not also like you should, like, drop it. I feel like it comes back to, like, you just got to see what you got, how you guys will handle it. Like, is religion going to be such a deal breaker that it's like it's a no-go if you guys conflict on that, or is your lifestyle and her lifestyle, or your partner's lifestyle, like, can that mesh well together despite the different religions?
Yeah. And also the fight for it thing. Sorry, just bringing back to that, to what Ashwin said. When you fight for it, the only thing that's linking you guys together is your love for each other. So it's exactly what you guys have been saying too. It's just, you have to make sure that both sides, like, love each other, because, like, if one side's like 95% and not 100%, then that's a risk for, you know, it's literally what the biggest argument for brown people when it comes to, like, Americans. It's like, oh, 50% of Americans get divorced, right? Because
not
the thing
even
is,
brown people. I
love.
say people in general.
Yeah,
too.
yeah. It's because of it's love that bonds it, and, you know, whereas in brown culture, like, I'm just saying brown culture because I'm brown and this is what I've been seeing, but it's that's where they go for the families first, so they make sure that, hey, I mean, they don't make sure. I mean, like, they take caution. It's like, hey, it can't be like a family trouble kind of thing, because both the families are okay, and that's usually the biggest problem, right? It's like, oh, this guy, this, but if the families are okay, then this will be okay, kind of thing. So it's kind of like the reverse.
Like the family plays a big part when it comes to relationship.
Yeah. Can I ask you both a question? It's like, would you say that a lot of that religion issue, or not issue, but that religion factor into relationships like this is primarily for would it be, in your positions, would it be for you guys or more to appease your family?
I would say I'm kind of the mix, because to be honest, like, I've only dated a selective few, like, I can count in one hand a selective few of Hindu girls, but when it came to religion stake, I dated or have seen other girls of other religion and other races, right? So it becomes where, when your family comes in and they find out, oh, you're dating this girl or that, some families will accept it. Some families be like, okay, you're dating a Catholic girl, okay, fine. Is she brown? If you say yes or no, it's on them. They will accept it. Some families have advanced to that stage where they're like, okay, yo, like, they've seen society, they've seen a lot of stuff, like, everything's changing. Like, for me, like, in my family, like, if I go down the family tree, I do have a white uncle. I do have an Asian aunt. I do have an Asian brother-in-law, or, like, I have different like, races in that. Like, so there are certain families that do accept different religions and different races, but there are some families still are stuck back at that back home mentality and saying that, no, you have to get married to this person and this religion, this kid. Like, even if a girl's, like, I'm not trying to, even if a girl's a different color, but she's still the same religion. There are some people that would say, oh no, she has to be brown, for example. Like for me and Nihaal's sake, if we're brown and the girl's not brown, but she is Muslim or she is Hindu, they're gonna say no.
There's also a lot. Okay, back to Daniel's question about the family thing, pleasing family thing. It's like you don't realize how much like, okay, yeah, maybe day to day, you know, I go to my 9 to 5 job, I go to volleyball, whatever, and you might not see your family often, but there's so much like behind when it comes to like a relationship. There's so much behind just like the talking, and also just like your parents will need to have your back, right? And both parents need to have your back, especially in these times when it comes to like, okay, I'm being a little selfish here, but like, you know, like housing, right? Or like a loan or something like that. If your parents absolutely despise you because you're marrying like, you know, some other woman, right? Some other race woman, right? You can't really count on them to help you.
Yeah.
Thing, right? Like you're cutting like a huge loss. Like it's so big. Like at the beginning when it's all love and stuff, like yeah, this, that, but like long term, or you know, when you're getting older and you have kids and then they just don't want to, you know?
But would you say, like, as tough as it is to say this, would it be, that's more on them? Like, I think that would be more on them.
It is more on them, but that's what I'm saying. So this is...
But then again, that's where we also have to kind of factor in, like, how much is like that.
It's the risk factor you want. Yeah. Are you willing to take?
So what I'm saying is, like, this is going back to first-gen Canadians. Like, it's our job to change it. Like, I'm telling you right now on camera, like, I'm going to change it. If it's... I might not change it personally. As of now, I don't think I'm going to change it personally. What I'm saying is, like, my kids, the next generation, by then, you know, like, you know, 30, 40 years from now, I don't know, what am I going to get? 10 years from now?
Well,
you think I'll have a kid 10 years from now?
Yo, anything can happen in life, bro.
Maybe tomorrow.
Anything,
a year from now?
Yo, to be honest, anything can happen in life, bro.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Like, we can all be sitting here right now doing our podcast right now. I don't know where we could just all have different girlfriends next year by the time.
Facts.
We can all, anything can happen in life. That's what
they're gonna look back on this and then they're gonna start laughing like, yo, you're not gonna date a non-Indian girl or something like that.
Nah, to be honest, like, religion does play, like, not religion doesn't play, like,
I think it's more culture.
It's more culture that plays a big factor, but when it comes to religion, because
a lot of our culture is based off of religion.
Yeah, but like, I don't know, like a lot of people are dating different people nowadays, like different religions.
Yeah, here it doesn't really like.
But if we were in back home mentality, if we were back home,
I'll be so honest. Back home for us, it wouldn't matter what religion as long as they're rich. I won't lie. I'm not gonna not to be that guy, but for us.
I'm not gonna lie. I've dated multiple Filipino women, and they always say like, if we were back home right now, you would not be accepted. I'll be like, huh? I'm like, what?
Yeah, that's crazy because for me it's like, what's it called? My family would probably be like, yo, as long as they got money, like you're set, like, and I'm like, damn.
Yeah, but that's how people are. Some people are raised, right?
Yeah.
So it's same thing. India too, bro. India, Sri Lanka. Like if the guy or girl has a fucking government job, they're worth like a guy could go up and be like, yo, I want your. It's like there's a thing when you for arranged marriages, if the guy goes up to a girl and be like, yo, you have to put this much, you have to give me this much money. It's like
it's called a dowry, right?
Yeah, it's called a dowry, and the guy could be like, oh, you have to give the family $100,000. You have to give 100 pounds of gold. Like a guy could say that. A guy could say that if the family accepts that. They have to give him that thing on the day of the marriage.
So it's literally like, give me your daughter and give me all this too.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
No, I think it's getting better. It's getting better.
But like that's so crazy.
If this was even like 10 years ago, yes, but now it's definitely getting better. It's not,
because that I'm not gonna lie. This played a factor in like multiple cousins. Like whenever I went back home in Sri Lanka and stuff, that played a huge role. My cousins went. I was standing there. They're gonna get married. Now you hear that stop. I'll be like, what? And everyone's like all crowded and stuff. Find out, the man didn't. The female's family didn't pay the fucking dowry, and they stop the marriage. And we're like all sitting there and we're like, what the hell?
Mm-hmm.
That plays a factor and stuff. We're like, what the hell?
If I'm gonna offer my input, just my input on that, like, from just my perspective, it's like, yo, like, that's crazy. Like, dowry is just literally like, hey, fuck over your financials so I can marry your daughter.
Mm-hmm. But you know, it's not that. But like nowadays, it's stopping. But I say religion's starting to kick back now.
It's also the control that immigrant parents have over us too, right?
It's part of that too.
Right now, like American culture, like, you know how they say like after 18 you start paying rent kind of thing. Like,
it's
more independent. So
they
whereas,
tell you like,
whereas like back home, like arranged marriages, or like what they're pushing for is that they still have control over you after 24, 25.
Right.
Thing. So that's huge too.
Yeah.
Whereas even my brother, bro, like, I feel like I'm losing control over him. I don't think I could be like, yo, in like 7 years, be like, yo, you gotta marry. Like,
you gotta get
I don't
married.
think so. Yeah.
Nah, you can't.
He's just, he's way past. He grew up in the pandemic years. You know, oh my god, I said the word pandemic. We're gonna get blurred out.
Yo, you said it like
don't monetize it, bro.
Twice already.
We won't get money anywhere. If we were making money. Okay, yeah.
If we were making money.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I just feel like when it comes to like religion, because based on my experiences with dating and with religion, I've dated girls who are the same.
You've dated girls?
Oh my god, it's game. I've dated women who are the same. What's it called? Same religion as me, different religion me, or didn't even believe in religion at all. So I think facing those like perspectives, like for me, for example, dealing with that was definitely more on the parental side more than anything for me. Because for me, I'm not because even though I'm Catholic, I'm not the biggest like most devout person. Mm-hmm. So I think for my perspective, it's more I'm afraid of what my mom will think, or I'm more.
What would anyone else, like your parents?
Yeah, I'm more mindful of that more than anything.
Mm-hmm. No, it's the same thing here because religion didn't play a pact on my sister's wedding, but did come into my relationship a lot because my sister, we're Hindu. My sister, so my sister's husband, they're married and they have 2 kids now.
Right,
is Christian.
Mm-hmm.
He's Christian, but he's half Christian, half Hindu. But they raised him as a Christian, so it didn't play a huge part in their marriage a lot. But they did do the Christian formalities in her wedding. They did do our Hindu like we did the Christian wedding and back home because he had more like his side of his family back home. Yeah. And we did our Hindu style wedding where Nihaal was also invited and he saw it in Canada because we had more family back home here. So we did that type. But when it came to me, because I was the first generation, my sister was born in Sri Lanka, but when raising my sister was different style versus me because I was raised more outside. I was the one who was into sports and all that, like going out, versus my sister was always quiet, staying home, always listening to my parents type of thing. But when I came to me, when I first dated a non-Hindu girl, my dad didn't say a lot of things because my dad had a lot of friends that were different religions. Yeah. So he didn't say on a lot of things. He said, for me, it's focus on your studies, focus on what you want to do first. My mom kind of was like, why are you doing this? Like, I could be, like, I remember I had that first conversation with my mom about religion when I was, I think, 15, 14. And I was dating a girl and she was Catholic. Mm-hmm. And my mom, and parents find out somehow in my family. Like, I feel like I have inner spies in my family. Like,
everybody's an op.
Yo, I could go home. I could date this girl for I could be seeing this girl. I like this girl for 2 weeks. The next week, my parents come up to me. They'll be like, "Oh, who's this?" I'll be like, "What?"
So you just got to deny.
Yo, I can deny that. Hold on. Then you have my brother Lakshan. That just convinces it. But like when I remember that talk, my mom would be like, that to go back on topic, my mom came up to me and she was like, "Why are you dating a Catholic girl?" And I was like, I didn't even know religion back then. Yeah. I didn't know religion. I only thought Hindus. For me, religion, I thought everyone was the same religion. I knew churches. I knew There's churches, there's mosques, there's like all like.
You just thought that was just like, kind of the extent of it. You just go to that and that's it.
No, I didn't even know what religion was until like I came up and like got to know more. I always thought like everyone was the same religion, like Hindus. I never knew what Hinduism was. I didn't know what Christianity was. Sorry, like I didn't know that. Then I was like, what's wrong with her being Catholic? She's like, oh, they're different people. They go by different thing, and I'm like, okay, what's the problem with that? And like then that became like a thing. Then I remember I had that talk with my mom. My mom would have that talk with me once a week. Then when I broke up with that girl.
She was happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was like, oh, okay. Then when I dated a Hindu girl, my mom's reaction was different.
It's like a total 180, right?
She was like, oh, what's her name? What's her parent? Like, where her parents from? And all that stuff. And this girl, well, she was Hindu, but she wasn't brown too.
Yeah. Oh.
And I was like, what? I was like, and it was a different topic, and it was like, oh, what's her name? Where's she from? Where does she live? Or like a lot of stuff, questions. I'm like sitting there. Then I broke up with the girl, and she's like, oh, why'd you break up with that girl? She was good. She was nice. I liked her and all that stuff. Then I go date a new girl. My mom's like, oh, you could have. When my parents find out,
yeah.
My mom's like, oh, why? I liked the other girl before. Why'd you break up with her? And I'm like, and the talk goes on again. And I'm like, what?
Parents are never satisfied, yeah.
Parents are never satisfied. It's religion plays, like, if you have, I've known this, like, I don't know if I've seen it myself, but, like, I don't know if you guys seen it. Like, if there are some parents that are still in the back home, they haven't came out.
Their mindset's different.
Like, from back home.
Yeah.
They don't come out of it. They stay in that thing. But when there are some parents that accept different religions and stuff. Because I have cousins, and I have bare cousins that got married to Catholics, Christians, and all that stuff, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah. But sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, because like that entire like thing, you're just in like, I've just been thinking about how like so similar it has been for me, where it's like I dated a girl who was Catholic. My mom didn't have a problem with that. I dated a girl who's atheist, and she was like not very pleased with it. She kind of just you could tell my mom wasn't pleased with it, so she'll talk to me about it every once in a while, but it's more like she'll let me do my thing, because I think she was banking on it not happening anyways. Mm-hmm. Granted, I'm single, so it didn't happen anyways, but like...
We're all single at this point.
Yeah, but like...
Who said we're all single?
Boy, you single.
No, but but on that...
We all know you're single, man.
Oh, that's...
I would say something.
Got punch right there. But like on that note, it was just like...
It's a stash, that's right. Here you go.
It was like,
Shut up,
we just... Can I go?
Okay, go.
Yeah, but to like when she was saying, she would always say like, why wouldn't you have stayed with that girl? For me, it was like, if you like her so much, why don't you date her? And I got the worst, like, I got not a beating, no. I was like, what, like 19, 20. I'm not getting beat at that point, but like.
Our parents don't give a fuck what age you are. Bro, I could be 6'10", 300 pounds. My parents will still find a way to throw a slipper on my face, bro.
But yeah, so she wouldn't let me hear the end of it. But like, I think where we've kind of come into a middle ground on that is she'll offer her inputs on my relationships based on what she would want from me, and I'll tell her what I look for in a person. We kind of just go back and forth, because at the end of the day, for me, I kind of made it clear, whether it's she approves or not, I'm gonna date somebody as long as I'm attracted to them, and on many levels, on levels that I connect with them and stuff like that. At the end of the day, that's what matters to me. Cause
at the end of the day, it's like, I'm not gonna say this in the wrong way. Like, yeah. I'm not trying to say this in a bad way.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, like, you're the one that's going to live the life. You're the one. You're the one that's going to be taking care of them. You're the one that's going to be having kids with them. Like, you do see like people that like are married for 50 years, 25 years, still get that divorce. But then there's something that always keeps them like, within that 25 years, right? That thing. But I would say like, it's on them. It's on their choice if they want to take it. Like, you see a lot of relationships that will last for 10 years. They're like, we had a couple that went into high school that were dating since elementary, and how many years now they're engaged. Then you have some couples, like I'll take for me, I dated a girl for over a year, and everyone that I talked to was like, oh, you're gonna get married, you guys look the same. We broke up.
Yeah,
anything can happen in life, bro.
Yeah, like I've known people who dated girls for like they've been in relationships for like over 3, 4, 5 years, and they end up breaking up at the end of it. I've known people who were in relationships again, sort of like a year, two or three, they're engaged. So it's different. It's very different.
Yeah, a lot of that happen.
Yeah. Okay, well, I this has been kind of boiling for me. Like I've always wondered this about you. How much do you feel like, on your level, without parents, without anything, how strongly is religion important to you in a relationship? To you. Because if you really think about it, the way we've sounded is like relationships are only really important because our parents kind of bug us about it. That's how it's sounded to me so far.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say yeah.
Yeah, but like for you.
That's a tough question, but
Little loaded.
the atheism thing might sting a little bit, because I feel like you need to believe in God or some kind of higher power just to. You feel soulless if you don't. I don't necessarily agree with all the Islam has a lot of stuff that you're not supposed to do.
Yeah.
Like a lot, and or like a lot of just all that, but it's not necessarily like following, even for like Christianity, like going to church every Sunday. I think like 90% of Christians don't even go to church every Sunday, but
I don't remember the last time I went.
But like they still consider themselves Christian because they have, it's about your relationship with God, and also it's the there's a lot of politics behind religion, and I think even the family stuff when it comes to girls and stuff is also politics.
Like I would say like if you're to just remove the parental factor of that religion aspect for you, it's hard to do that. I know. Like I think for you personally, it's huge.
That's the only thing. That's literally. I mean, that's the only thing for me. It was just if I was.
All right. Well, we're back after a little battery difficulty here, but
sorry. Yeah. No. I mean, I think I would love the girl if she loves me back, and that's what matters. But that's not how the world is, and I don't want to put myself in hypothetical situations like that because it'll just make me sad. So, because like I'm telling you, like it makes it sound like I don't give a shit about religion, but it's not that. I care, but like just like some of the things that I went through, it was very traumatizing, and if I just think of hypothetical situations and give myself a little bit of hope, like, oh, if my parents weren't, but then that's like, it's such a fucked up way of thinking, you know what I'm saying? So I'm not even gonna go down that road. It's just I think that would just be bad for my mental health. So yeah, that's all I'm gonna say. I'm not answering that question. So yeah.
So if I could just like put an answer in your mouth for whatever it is, it's like you'd be down if it weren't for your parents.
Oh my god.
That's basically what it sounds like, no? Like
He said it.
I'll say it so he doesn't have to say it.
No, because like that's the biggest reason. Like if it wasn't for that, like dude, like I live in Canada, whatever, bro, I would literally ask any girl confidently, like if I did like her, right? But now it's like always like, and they know, and also for their side too, like dude, I'm Muslim, and like the stereotypes behind Muslim, there's like a lot, like
yeah, there's
I think I'm a genuine guy. I try being nice and all that stuff, and I know I'm a good person. But what I'm saying is that like even their parents and that it's never the girl. It's always like their relationship with their parents and stuff. They might think of me as a different person just because I'm fucking Muslim, right? So
right. So it sounds like we just got to get Nihaal to be a fuckboy. Could you imagine a fuckboy Nihaal? Could you imagine a fuckboy Nihaal?
I don't think we can.
I don't think the world's ready for that.
No,
Nah.
I mean, I talked to so many people. Like,
I think Nihal's so like I'm not as my perspective. Nihal is too of a nice guy.
You're too young.
He's too nice to say anything like do something bad to hurt another person's feelings and stuff. Right then you have us.
Whoa! What
Then you have me. No, I'm a nice guy, but if you piss me off, I'm not a nice guy.
No, I was thinking like, honestly, like if I was at like a volleyball tournament or like a party or something and a girl was just like, yo, kiss me, I'd be like, do you really want
Oh my god.
Like that's what I am, because like I'm so like traumatized from that whole experience of like what happened over the summer and stuff, so it's just like I'm like, dude, like I do not want to go down.
He's cautious. So you're basically you're saying
it's like
you're cautious about
and I'm also respecting my future wife too, where it's just
like you don't want to
put them through that either.
You don't you're cautious. Second is like you don't want to go through another relapse of what you went, your traumatizing thing, and like you just want a clean slate. You want something like, okay, this has happened. Okay,
it was a learning lesson.
It's a learning. Like if you jump into like, for example, if you go jump into another relationship.
If I jump to another relationship, it is not fair for that girl.
Yeah.
It is not fair for that girl.
Because you're not ready.
Like that would absolutely break her, and it would also break past Nihaal too. Like that's
like
exactly
at this point you would be like you would just be stringing her on for like nothing, like until like for example like if you're just doing it for whatever your needs, then after like when it comes to that point where you have to where the girl starts thinking of this marriage talk and you back off, that's gonna
like imagine 5 years and then you're ready to get married and then your partner says, no, I can't, my parents still don't approve. So what the fuck was all that before, right?
No, exactly. That's why I wrote the bandage at the start and not after.
Not pursue it.
Accept it. You tell them straight up, like, okay, yo, this is my parents thing. It's on them. It's on the guy or girl.
But the other thing is that both parents have to support. Her parents didn't support either, so then that's why it was that's a whole different thing.
For me, it was opposite. For me, it was like same scenario. My parents were kind of supportive and all that stuff, but they didn't fully support. But her parents were supportive.
Okay.
Her parents were supportive. I've been to her house. Her parents knew we were dating. I went and helped them out. They're all nice and all that. They accepted it. But when I came, I was struggling to bring her into my house because I let her talk to my sister over the phone one time. That's it. Then because families and religions and all that comes bringing a third party, and that was my first time too, because when I dated anyone, my parents found out somehow, but I never went to that point of them to talk to anyone or like anything. It was never like that point. But a lot of things happen, right? You know, married the next girl. My parents approved.
There is no next girl. We're single forever.
No.
Oh, if that happens, I'm fighting you. When I'm 50 and I'm not married, I'll fight you. I'll come find you.
Yo, if I told myself if I'm still single by the age, before 30 or 35, if I'm still single.
35. I'm thinking 25.
That's negative.
I know.
Fuck off. I'm already 25, man.
If I'm 35 and a girl, if I'm still single, I am getting myself arranged marriage. I don't give a fuck. I told my parents, I'm like,
is it easy for you guys to get an arranged marriage?
You can just go up to your...
It's not
easy, but like...
It's easier than...
No, I mean, like, it's not like...
It's not like this. It doesn't...
Because there's a process, right?
There's a process. Like, for example, my uncle went through it. He was in his 30s.
Yeah.
We called up... my mom's the one who found him the girl. Right? My mom called up my aunt, and she's like, oh, we're looking for a girl for my uncle. Do you know any girls? And she'd be like, let me find out. And then they find out who's free or thing. Then they call and stuff. But yo, there are some arranged marriages that fail, that go bad. Because my uncle, before he got married to his wife, he went through 3 arrangements until like the engagement part, and they always drop it. There are some people that do that, but it's on people, different people. But that's how you say the right person has to come for you.
Yeah.
Right. Like. A lot of people go through different relationships. You've been through a relationship. I've been through a relationship. That means maybe the right person isn't there for you, or the right person came to you
wrong time,
or you didn't take.
Yeah,
that's what I'm scared of. That is exactly what I'm scared of.
At that point,
you just like everything that I look for in a girl, it was her, and then after that, it's like. Yeah, like, shit.
I'm sorry.
I'm
I know,
so
but
sad.
it's just kind of funny the way you play it.
I'm getting so sad right now because I'm so pissed. Like, you know, like every day I'm pissed. Like, I'm like, everything that I looked in for a girl was her. And then after that, it's like, when you brought up that question about like if it wasn't parents, like it got me so frustrated.
I'm
bro.
sorry.
Like, do you see why I'm angry? Do you see why I don't want to make theoretical things? Because like,
Yeah.
my mindset would have been completely different if it wasn't for that.
Right.
Like if I was, you know,
Mm-hmm.
a Christian dude,
Yeah.
my mindset would have been completely different.
But in that sense too, it, like your mindset, I guess, your mindset's dictated by what was for that point was.
Damn, I gotta go.
Yeah, you gotta head out.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we gotta bid farewell to Ashwin for tonight. We're probably not. We're gonna have him on in future podcasts as well. Depends on the
Finish your
topic.
sentence. Finish your sentence.
I was just gonna say, that mindset was dictated by something out of your control.
Mm-hmm.
It was definitely more out of your control.
And that dictated our whole relationship too, because like, you know, she was insecure the whole time. She's like, oh my god, this guy's gonna drop me. This guy's gonna drop me. This guy's gonna drop me the entire time. And you know, lowest of keys, like deep down, I always did have that thought because you know
That wasn't gonna be.
Yeah.
But I feel like, no, I don't want to say this, but like, in that sense, if you have that thought and you let it dictate, it's kind of doomed from the start.
Yeah. If you start thinking, saying, "Oh, the girl's gonna drop me at this time. This girl's gonna drop me," you don't like it. You're just thinking like, okay, you're just dating.
Or like, yeah, in your case where it was like you're
no.
thinking like it's like, oh, this is a problem. This is a problem. I don't know
Yeah.
if I can do something about
it's
this.
just a problem. And then I've been trying to tackle that problem. And
Unless
that's what I
you
did.
tackle
And
that problem, you
once
fix
I,
up.
once I realized like there's no way
Yeah.
this is like
Yeah.
possible without like cutting off my parents, like
Mhm.
that's when I'm like, okay.
Drop the ball.
And a lot of you know, a lot of the insecurities that she might have shown me was because of that, right?
Mhm.
She would.
Sure.
I'm 100% sure she wouldn't have shown that to me if I was more confident from the start. So
Mhm.
yeah, sad boy hours. Sorry, just got good, and you're trying to leave.
I gotta go, bro.
Yeah, it's,
I have
he finally opened up like an hour in.
All right.
I'm joking. Just, I know you gotta go.
It's okay. Next time.
All right.
Alright,
Say
thank you
bye.
for coming.
Alright, later, guys. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming on.
So yeah, maybe future.
Alright, thank you.
I'll read the.
I'm gonna cut this, and you want to continue for?
Wait, can I say something?
Okay, go.
This was my topic.
Yeah.
Look,
So
yo, this guy.
if anyone else, yeah.
It was just getting good. Like when this guy had to fucking cut, but
Okay, I was avoiding this topic, but you know.
I was trying to. We were trying to get you to open up so badly. Bless you. Bless you.
We're not cutting that up. Okay. Yeah, man. Yeah, I don't want to name names or anything. But yeah, I really discovered myself this year.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I definitely agree. From the beginning till now, yes.
Like if it wasn't for her, I'd still probably be chasing like non South Indian Muslims.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and yeah, there's a lot of things that just anger me about that relationship because like it seemed like the stars aligned, and there's just a lot more. So I learned.
Yeah. I would say, can I offer my opinion? I think it was an unfair lesson for you to learn. If I'm gonna take a look at it holistically, because of why, it was an very unfair lesson for you to learn. You didn't need to learn that lesson. It's one of those where for me, in my opinion, it feels unnecessary. But that's just me. That is just me. You don't have to agree with my opinion.
I think if I met her like when I was like 27, 28, it would be a little bit
It was
different.
maybe easier, right?
Yeah, because right now it's like I'm not desperate for a marriage.
Yeah, you're fresh out of school. You're kind of just living
Yeah.
life. Like,
I mean, marriage would be nice.
mhm.
Getting married by 25 would be super nice. Oh my god, that would be amazing.
Shout out Andy, fucking lucky ass motherfucker. I'm name dropping that because you are one lucky ass motherfucker.
Yeah, Andy's high school sweethearts got
Post high school, right after.
Yeah.
But like, yeah. So
the wedding was dope. I think we mentioned their wedding last podcast. I kind of remember.
I think we're gonna mention it at least once for the next couple podcasts because it was that dope. Like
Yeah.
I don't think, but yeah, like, dude, I don't know. When I think about that, if I was ever like had to deal with something like deal with religion to that extent, I don't know because I'm very, I would say, My mom and I get into our disagreements because I tend to push back more than normal, because I like having my independence. I'm a very
It's not
big,
necessarily religion. It's like what's set in stone from before, like extended families and what they think of each other. What her family thinks
right. I feel like that's a big thing for you. That's a big thing for your culture, right? That's very big.
It's like what my family thinks of her.
Like
what my
impressions,
family
right?
thinks of us. And also like past stories of, my parents have seen like some friends, like
Where it's
Christian
gone.
guys marrying Muslim women kind of thing, and they've seen how it goes wrong kind of thing, and
Right.
yeah, so they already have that in mind where it's like, shit, I'm never letting my son kind of thing.
Well, at least I think
Yeah.
I think a lot of it at least comes, like, aside from the impressions of other family members, I think a lot of that at least comes from a place of love,
No, yeah.
where they don't
exactly.
want you to.
No, like I understand. Like that's what I'm saying. Like that's what I'm mad as in like this got brought out just because like these are like some of the emotions that I've been feeling deep down and like what I really struggled with over the summer.
Yeah.
And I cover it up with like volleyball and organizing and chilling with friends and whatever, right? But like, sometimes sometimes
for sure.
sometimes I can't sleep thinking about it. It's like
Yeah.
shit. Like what if she was the one?
Yeah.
And she had this friend that kept saying I want to say names so bad, but I can't say
Don't
the
say
name.
it. Say it.
But she had this friend that used to be like, yo, like this type of relationship doesn't come too often, like this girl really likes you kind of thing. And I'm like, yeah, I know. I know. And,
we saw it too, man.
I know, yeah. Like she really liked me, and it was amazing. She was a sweetheart, absolute. She was beautiful, everything. But it's just,
It's just circumstances at the end of the day, and as shitty as it feels, as a cop out as it feels to say that, like sometimes circumstances just dictate everything in that case, right? So yeah, I can't say I've ever been somebody who's been
obsessed.
not obsessed.
I'm not gonna use the word obsessed. That's unfair to her. She just
Yeah.
really liked me.
Yeah, what's it called? But I would say I can't say I've ever been in a position where religion was a dictated what my relationships would have been like. But I will say that religion has, like, for me, when it's religion, it's never been dealing with conflict with the other person for that. It's always been a parental thing. I guess that's what immigrants, like, children of immigrants face. We definitely face that quite often. Yeah, I don't know, for, like, even for our viewers, like, you don't have to necessarily open up about this, but would you say religion is definitely more for, in terms of relationships, more, is it big for you or is it bigger for your parents? That's something I'm kind of curious about as well, because you already hear it from us. Like, if for us, from some, just hearing from us, I can't speak for Ashwin, but I think it's like definitely more a parent narrative. You really opened up quite a bit there, huh? But don't, for sure, those frustrations are definitely valid. Like,
Yeah.
I'm getting heated for you, man.
No, it's heated, and it's like it's not fair for her either because like, she did some things as well. Like it's not just religion, obviously. Like
Yeah, for sure.
but,
Relationships
like,
aren't just
yeah.
like one thing.
But the reason why she did those things is because she really liked me and she didn't want to let me go, right?
And part of that, which you would say, could stem from religion.
And that's exactly where it is.
Yeah.
From the start, she had it from the start too. Even when we started, like that was first topic of discussion. Like, holy shit, can this happen?
Yeah.
And
Well, it's good to know though, at least, that you both understood that. Like,
yeah,
like you understood that was probably going to be your biggest obstacle.
yeah. And it was. Well, we didn't pass the obstacle, but
Yeah.
it was.
Okay. I mean, yeah. I mean, I think. For me, it's so scary. Like, it would be so. For me, from my perspective, I don't think religion would ever be a big obstacle for me.
Yeah.
I think that the relationship, if it was, because it's a parent dictative narrative for me from my end, I don't think I would have a lot of pushback, or I think I'd be willing to more fight for it if it was just religion was an issue. When it comes to other things, like mindsets, I'm big on a person's mindset, so I think that's something where that could be a good podcast on mindset, like what you look for in a person. Add it to the spreadsheet, but yeah, like I think when it comes to religion, I will definitely disregard it more from another person. If somebody tells me they're atheist, if somebody tells me they're Buddhist, Hindu, Muslim, any different type of Christian that isn't Catholic, Jewish, I'm willing to take all of those things into account as if I like the person enough, right? If I don't like the person enough and that's something that I think would cause me to have a difficult relationship, that just means I don't like the person enough to chase it. If I like the person enough, I don't think that would be an obstacle for me. But I don't want to speak that into the air when it hasn't happened, so... But that's where I feel like I would be at for right now. But I think we're kind of... We definitely spoke our piece on this one. Like, we aired out a lot of things. I think you aired out, and I love that. Like, it was just
I could get more specific, but I'm not.
I don't think you need. I don't think you need to, but I definitely think it got to the basis of what you wanted to say, because it's like
it's just not fair.
Yeah, it isn't, and
I have to go through it so my kids don't.
Oh yeah, for sure. Because I feel like once it comes down to you, like it's like once it's your kids, you're not going to carry the same things that they carry down onto you. Especially if you're not that same person. Because we can break things handed down by generation, right? So, like, a lot of I don't know on my end, but I think my mom would always tell me there'd be different things that she had to face when looking for a suitor or being courted.
Yeah.
And for my kids, I'm like, I don't think that would pass down to me, because it's like, if in terms of looking for things, I just think at the end of the day, religion or not, you just got to find out if the person's a good person. You just want somebody with a lot of goodness. At the end of the day, that's it.
And she was good. This is making people sad, man. I'm gonna cry.
See, I wanted to say I would want to say I agree, but I don't know. So.
Yeah.
But like, she seemed like a good person too.
She was.
But yeah, I think that kind of wraps it up though, for this topic.
Yeah.
It's done. But it was a really good discussion. I really enjoyed it.
We could do a part 2.
We could do a part 2.
You just need to get me in my feels again. Maybe like after 1 a.m. We shoot this around. When we shoot this,
like 7, 8-ish.
7, 8. So.
Yeah, usually like anywhere between 6 to 8 is when we start on it. So we're usually in a post work or post like getting our stuff done in the day type of mood.
But yeah. All right.
Thank you guys for listening so much. We appreciate it. Third one so far, right? So I guess we can.
Third one. It might not be the third one in order.
Definitely not. We'll see which one's the best. But this is the third one we filmed so far.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and been very fun so far. I really like our discussions.
Oh yeah. We will post very soon.
Very soon. We just got to figure out some things, and we hope that you guys will show us some love. We want to hear from you. Give us some ideas as well. If you have something you want us to talk about and it applies to us, we can definitely talk about it.
Swag.
Later. Much love.